Okay, what I wanted to look at was I was going to just look at some collage techniques. If you choose to do this technique, it's just a really lovely way to work from, and it sort of loosens you up from all the things you've been doing at home and all the drawing. And what you'll need is, you do need to find some magazines. If you don't have magazines and things at home and you can't do collage, then that's fine, you can do this in colour pencil, but it'd just be fun just to try another technique, do some cutting up. A lot of you have shown how fantastic you are at collage from the walls that we've been doing in the classroom. So have a look, see if you can find some magazines or even newspaper. Newspapers have quite a lot of colour in. What's a really good idea to do? Oh, glue. I've just had to order some Pritt sticks actually, so at the moment I'm using this. I have some PVA glue at home which I found at the bottom of a cupboard, and I found an old bit of newspaper here, and I found myself a little bit of cardboard as my glue spreader. So I've got that here. And what I like to do is I like to create a palette of colour, which I've just done onto this page. And then I've drawn on my design. I've drawn a sort of Indian design. I've gone for sort of that culture. But if you feel, you know, obviously all your cultures will be different, so whatever pattern you draw will be completely different to mine. But the important thing is you look at the colours and then you select your palette. So it's almost like getting your paint tray ready. So I really love this page from the magazine, and I'm thinking, that's my palette. Those are the colours. So what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to start sticking some of these colours down. So what I have is, I have my mandala, which I have my pattern that I have drawn out, sort of sketched it out. And then what I've started to do is I've chosen a colour palette. So I've got lots of blues here. I've got lots of this sort of umber colour. And then there's sort of different ways you can use collage. I also had shown you this page, which is really lovely. So I quite like, you can work two ways with collage. You can either rip into sections, so you can create these little piles of colour. But if your design, like this one, is really intricate, sometimes just trying to stick these on, first thing you always do is you always put your glue. You always put your glue on first. See, when I try and sort of put these on, because it's quite small, I'm going to have trouble sort of making them sit in the middle. If you had a large design, it would be a lot easier. So I think it's sort of making that choice, how you want to apply it. So I could do this, so it's almost like mosaic, where I'm filling, actually it's rather nice, isn't it? Where I'm filling the shape, but then I'm a bit out on the edge there, so I might have to tear it. This can be the problem with working like this. Take that bit off. Or you can work the other way, where you could actually cut out with scissors, and then you could literally stick on the shape. And then I've got some I've previously cut, so I've actually cut these shapes to the shape. I haven't done it exactly. I've sort of guessed them a bit. If you want to be really, you want it to be perfect, to be exact, then what you can do is you can use, what's it called? Greaseproof paper, and then trace them, and then cut them out, trace them onto the coloured paper, and then cut them out. So you also could do it that way. So here's another one I've got that's already cut. Oh, I did have a circle, and then this one in the middle. So you just slowly fill up. And what I love is, I love when you get these little bits of sort of typography and you get a little bit of texture. So that is one way of applying your collage.